Welcome back to Business Studies class. In last class, we have seen two forms of public sector enterprises, that is departmental undertaking and also statutory corporation. In this class, you will be learning about government company. So, we will be learning meaning, features, advantages and disadvantages of government company. Let us start with the meaning of government company. A government company is one in which 51% of capital is contributed by the government and remaining 49% can be by the private people. Okay, that is different individuals, that is through the through the shares and debentures. Is that clear? So through selling the shares and debentures, the company can collect the funds, that is in their overall capital 49% alone can be taken from the private people and remaining 51% share will be of the government. So if you find such a company, we call it as a government company. So when I say 51% of capital should be held by the government, it means it can be of central government or any state government, or it can be a part of central government and state government. For example, if I need 100 rupees, 51 rupees has to be contributed by the government. 49% I can take from the general public through the selling of shares and debentures. Is that clear? So if you find such features in any company, we can call it as a government company, where 51% of capital is given by the government. I mean, those shares were purchased by the government and remaining shares were offered to the public for the purchase. Right? When I say government, it can be central government or it can be state government. Entire 51% might be shares might be purchased from the central government, or 51% shares might be purchased by the state government, or it can be partly state and central governments. Then we can call a company as a government company. What are the features of this government company? We'll see here. It has separate legal entity. So we know what is this feature of legal entity. That is, in the sight of law, in the eyes of law, the business is different and its public, I mean the members of the business are different. Okay, the company itself, the company with the name of company itself, it can go with the purchase of assets and it can borrow funds. Okay, when it borrows funds, when it purchases some assets, it will be in the name of company itself, not in the name of the members of the company, as it happens in the case of your partnership and your sole proprietorship. Then third point, you can say annual reports required to be presented in the parliament. Though we say it is a government company, which is only 51% shares are purchased by the government and 49% is from the public, we say they are accountable to the parliament, because 51% shares are purchased by whom? The government. Hence the board of directors are compelled to show their reports to the parliament. Then capital is wholly or partially provided by the government. As I said, 51% should be by the government, or it can be 100% government, no issue. But always they give a chance of 49% to the public. It means they expect private participation. See, in case of your departmental undertaking and statutory corporation, we don't have any public participation, that is private people participation. Okay, in general public in the sense private people. When I say public sector, it is government. You remember that. Okay, so general public like you and me don't have any participation in the statutory corporation, in the management, okay, in the departmental undertaking. But as an individual, as a public, I have a chance of getting into government company, because 49% shares are sold to the public, that is private people, and 51% shares has to be purchased either by central government completely or by state government, or it can be part. Hence we say capital is wholly or partially provided by the government. Then how the management will be? Same as your statutory company, like board of directors. Okay, board of directors will be having control over your statutory corporation and also government company. But it is not in case of department undertaking, right? The minister, the concerned minister will be the head of that particular business. Okay, but in your government company, it is a board of directors. Okay. depending upon the extent of private participation. So how this board of directors and all will be formed, it is depending upon the private participation. So here are the main members. Because of 51% of capital is given by the government, generally those will select the board of directors, because these shareholders will be having voting right. Through their voting right, they will be selecting board of directors. Then accounting and audit practice are more like those of private enterprises. They are just carried on just like a joint stock company what we see. Okay, its auditors are chartered accountants appointed by the government. So government will appoint auditors, but how the auditors has to go through the company, they will be just doing as a private enterprises. Its employees are not civil servants, means the employees of government company are not called the servants of government. Only if you observe, the employees of departmental undertaking are considered as government employees. The employees of statutory corporation and the employees of government company are not generally considered as government employees, theoretically. It is regulates its personal policies according to its articles of association. So these government companies, it is one of type of joint stock company which prepares main documents called memorandum of association and articles, where the rules and regulations will be written, and the company will be moving out according to its memorandum of association and articles of association, the rules and regulations set by themselves, which were approved by the government. But your statutory company as per parliament, your departmental undertaking as per the ministry. Is it clear? So these are the features of your government company. Now we have merits and demerits of government company, and your merits and demerits are like this. It is easy to form. How a government company will be formed? It will be formed just like a joint stock company by taking or by getting registration according to Companies Act of 2013. The earlier act was Companies Act of 1956, but the recent one is Companies Act of 2013. So according to that, your company has to get it registered. Once it is registered, you are forming. That is, you can start your company. You can start working with your company. Then flexibility of raising capital. As I said, 51% of capital will be raised from the government and 49% will be from the public. Hence, they have some flexibility. Then apart from raising capital flexibility, even the operational flexibility is there. That is, no bureaucracy, in the sense no government appointed official will be there in your business. Okay, but in departmental undertaking, what happens? All are the government employees itself. Even in statutory corporation, the board of directors are appointed by whom? The government itself. But in case of your government company, what happens? No bureaucracy, in the sense no officials, government officials will be present in your company. That is, 51% will be purchased by whom? Shares will be purchased by the government, and through their voting right, they decide. Even your 49% of private people and 51% of government shareholders will decide who should be the board of directors. No direct bureaucracy, means no direct government officials will be placed in your business. And it facilitates private participation, that we can say, as I said earlier, in your statutory corporation, in your departmental undertaking, you don't have any private people. Private in the sense general public, they don't have any participation, right? But in government companies, private people, that is general public, can take shares. That is what your 49% shares are offered to whom? Public. They may or may not. It depends. But offer, government company will offer you the chance. If you purchase, you are participating into the public sector enterprise. So the demerits of your government company are like this. That is, lack of accountability, absence of real autonomy, and lack of professional skills. All these happens because of the 51% of shareholdings are with the government. So lack of accountability, in the sense, accountability, it might be regarding the work of the organization, work of the employee, or it might be regarding profit and loss of the company. So the company, actually the government company lacks accountability, in the sense, because more percentage with the government, it becomes it has become the sole owner of that particular company. company. Okay, see, for 49% option is given to the public, but it is not compulsory that only 51% should be the government. The government may have the 100% of shares in the government company also. Possibility is there. If 49% of shares are not acquired by the public people, then 100% it will be having, the government companies will be having 100% capital from the government itself. In such case, what happens, they don't feel accountable to anyone else. They just feel it is like one of the sole owners. In that case, we say because more percentage of shares are with the government, they feel or they may not be prompt in giving the accountability. Hence, we say lack of accountability. And then absence of real autonomy. See, autonomy in the sense freedom, flexibility. In the merits, we say that they have a flexibility of raising capital from the private people. They have a operational flexibility because no bureaucracy, no government officials are there. Hence, they are free for their decisions and all. All these things happens in the theoretical way. But when you come to the real case, generally, more shares are with the government. Hence, they will be having interference into the business. Hence, we say there is no real autonomy. In theoretical way, we study this, but when it comes to the practical situation, the government influence will be more because more shares are with the government itself. Then lack of professional skill. This is also happens in the same way. See, professional skills in the sense a particular person appointed for that particular job should have that skills. Like a marketing manager should know how the marketing has to be done. The accounting manager, accounting general manager or the senior of accounting should know the accounting skills. If you appoint those who are not skilled, generally they cannot manage their business in a right manner. But all these things happens in the government company because of what? Because the more shares are with the government itself. They don't feel accountable, they don't feel answerable to anyone because more shares are with them itself. Then what happens, even the employees, even the management who is appointed might be with the interference of government. They may lack professional skills. If you lack the professional skills, what happens, the work will not be done in a right manner. It may lead to loss to the government company. So these are the merits and demerits of your government company. Here I hope we have seen all the three, like departmental undertaking along with its features, merits and demerits, and statutory corporation, meaning, features and merits and demerits. Even we have completed in the same sense government company meaning, like features and merits and demerits. Go with all the three and try to understand the difference between all the three. And now we have at last to conclude this topic, we have examples for all the three which can be asked for 2 marks. You should be very careful. They may ask the example of departmental undertaking or example of statutory corporation or example of government companies. So here you have all will be counting as public sector enterprise itself, but in that again you have a division. So for example, posts and telegram department comes under your departmental undertaking. Your railways departmental undertaking. All India Radio comes under departmental undertaking. Doordarshan, okay, like ordnance factories, all those comes under your departmental undertaking. Statutory corporation like Food Corporation of India, Industrial Finance Corporation of India, Life Insurance Corporation of India, UTI, State Trading Corporation, all comes under your statutory corporation. Then government companies like Hindustan Machine Tools Limited, Steels Authority of India Limited, and HSL, that is Hindustan Shipyard Limited. All these comes under your government company. You should please note down all these examples which can be asked for 1 or 2 marks. So they might be very specific. Okay, give an example of departmental, statutory or government. In general, if they ask give 2 examples for public enterprises, then you can write any one. Among all these things, anyone you can write. But if the question is specific, try to write the specific answers for that. So I hope you have got a good information of public sector enterprises. In next class, we'll move with the one more topic. Okay. So please go with your notes also and your test book and see whether what you gain is as per your notes and test books or not. Okay. Hope you do so all this exercise, right? Till we meet in our next class. Take care. Bye-bye.